I was born in 1926 in the Bronx, in a house across the street from the Bronx Zoo. We moved to 1913 Reading Avenue. We were about 6 blocks from the school, played with the neighborhood kids and roasted Mickeys, and it was a pleasant memory. I lived there until I was 8. It seemed like a very long period in my life, but I have a lot of memories of what it was like there. In school until 7th grade, most of my report cards were A or B in work and C or D in behavior. The C and D in behavior was because I would ask the teacher a question that the teacher wasn't ready to answer, and a lot of teachers don't like that. From 6 months of age, leaving out 1 or 2 years during the polio epidemic in the 30s, and a few years while I was in the Navy during World War II, I spent at least part of every summer of my life here in Equinox. I was very interested in animals and plants, and when I was up here, I collected frogs and toads and snakes, but it was very disorganized. I didn't know what I was doing. I just enjoyed it. So when Norma took biology and I looked at her biology text, that organized the things that I'd been learning about the natural world. So when she did a dissection, that summer I came to Equinox and dissected bullfrogs and whatnot to learn what was inside of them. That turned me on to biology and to science in general, and I decided I'd be a scientist. And began making contributions almost immediately. I developed methods for preparing specimens we looked at in the electron microscope. We were producing some of the most exciting electron microscopy in the world. We were able to develop new, improved methods used for the electrophoresis of proteins that were much better than any of the methods that existed before. They were first published in about 1959, and they're still used worldwide. Virtually all the sequencing of DNA that's done today is done with polyacrylamide electrophoresis. By 14, I knew enough science, especially biology. I became an atheist. I believe in a golden rule, but not because it came from God, but because it makes sense. I think the state of the world is pretty shitty because the majority of people on this earth, in some sense, believe in an afterlife and therefore aren't concerned enough about solving problems in this life. The biggest problem in the next 2 centuries is global warming. We should do what we can now to avoid having to deal with them later. The planting of irrigated forests in the Sahara and the Australian outback would stop global warming cold. There is no other proposal that stops it. If you started in Australia today, in about 10 years, the increase in CO2 would have stopped.